and Gog and Magog. Zubar al-Hadid. Hatta idha sawa bayna sadfain. Until when he had level between the two mountains, he began to walk. The fire was walking. When he joined between the mountain walls, he said, what did he say? He said, قَالَ انفُخُوا. Blow with the bellow. You know bellows? Do you know blacksmithry? You know blacksmith? The zigazagi is called bellow. Use the bellow in rising the fire to make it engulfing, thereby reducing the iron to like a molten magma, so to speak, so that the thing will be done. Like a molten copper, I want to say. So he said, آتوني زبر الحديد حتى إذا ساوى بين الصدفين قال انفخوا حتى إذا جعله نارا, until he made it a blazing fire. قال آتوني أفرق عليه قطرة. He said, let me pour on it a molten copper. So by this, the job was done. And the barrier was perfected, or the demarcation. That is why he says, فَمَا اسْطَاءُوا أَن يَظْهَرُوهُ وَمَا اسْتَطَاعُوا لَهُ نَقَبًا. Yajuj and Majuj were unable to pass over it. And they cannot make any penetration. He gave them this assurance. Next ayah.
قال هذا رحمة من ربي فإذا جاء وعد ربي جعله دكا وكان وعد ربي حقا وتركنا بعضهم يومئذ يموج في بعض ونفخ في الصور فجمعناهم جمعا.
قال هذا رحمة من ربي. He told them, look, this is not of my own doing. Do not ascribe or attach any competence to me. هذا رحمة من ربي. We have a big teaching here. You as a medical doctor, if you perform an operation successfully, say رحمة من ربي. Not me doing that. An example, an engineer, after constructing a structure, say, oh, clap for him, say, take it easy. Rahmatun min Rabbi. A Muslim always is not arrogant or braggadocious. He tries to ascribe the power only to Allah the Almighty. If you are knowledgeable, you explain something, it's not by your own power. It is Allah's capacity. So Dhul Qarnayn said, قَالَ هَذَا رَحْمَةٌ مِّن رَبِّي. It is a mercy from my Lord. فَإِذَا جَاءَ وَعْدُ رَبِّي جَعَلَهُ دَكًّا وَكَانَ وَعْدُ رَبِّي حَقًّا. He says, well, this is going to be for some time. Rahmatun min Rabbi. But when the appointed hour of my Lord comes, Allah will just demolish it. Allah makes it level. When the time for Gog and Magog to emerge, this barrier will not stop them. They will still come. Allah makes it level. Okay? He says, وَكَانَ وَعْدُ رَبِّي حَقًّا. Certainly, the promise of my Lord is ever earmarked to come to pass. Next ayah.
وتركنا بعضهم يومئذ يموج في بعض ونفخ في الصور فجمعناهم جمعا.
وتركنا بعضهم يومئذ يموج في بعض. And we will leave them that day surging over each other. Yamuj, intermingling, just like the wave on the face of water. You know waves of the river. That is Yamuj. The way the wave is acting, that is Yamuj, from Moj. So when Gog and Magog came, they will be surging one upon the other. struggling to come to the world to commit corruption. When their time arrives, they say they will go to every farmland, every crop will be eaten by them. All the waters will be consumed by them. It will be a time of confusion and tumult and consternation. Oh, Allah save us. So Allah says, when the promise of my Lord comes, then we will leave them يَمُوجُ وَتَرَكْنَا بَعْضَهُمْ يَمُوجُ فِي بَعْضٍ. Later, وَنُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ, and then the horn will be blown. When it was blown, that means for the utter destruction of the material life. Because a time, a surah will be blown. When the Qiyamah is about to come, for this life to come to an end, the angel blowing the horn has a name. What is his name? Can you tell me? What is the name of the angel responsible for blowing the trumpet, the horn, when the time of Qiyamah comes? What is his name? Israel? Israfil. Good. But the angel of taking life is Malakul Maut, not Azrael. Allah says, قُلْ يَتَوَفَّاكُمْ. Give me the ayah.
قُلْ يَتَوَفَّاكُمْ مَلَكُ الْمَوْتِ الَّذِي وُكِّلَ بِكُمْ ثُمَّ إِلَى رَبِّكُمْ تُرْجَعُونَ.
That is chapter number 32. Tell them, Malakul Maut, the angel of death, is the one to take your life. Quran did say, قُلْ يَتَوَفَّاكُمْ Azrael. So the name is not Azrael. But Israfil, the hadith has established it. Malakul Maut is the name. You have the ayah. What about the angel that protects hellfire? Na'udhu billahi min fire. What is his name? Do you have ayah? What is the ayah?
وَنَادَوْا يَا مَالِكُ لِيَقْضِ عَلَيْنَا رَبُّكَ
قال.
قَالَ إِنَّكُمْ مَاكِثُونَ.
They will be calling passionately, Oh Malik, we want your Lord to kill us. He says, Innakum makithun. Live here permanently. La ilaha illallah. What about the name of the angel preserving the Jannah? Ridwan. This is an hadith. Allahumma atana al-Jannah ya Allah. Ya Rabbal Alameen. Not because of our attitude, ya Allah. So I am saying here, وَنُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ فَجَمَعَنَاهُمْ جَمْعًا. And the horn will be blown and they will be gathered. They will be gathered in an assembly. That is Al-Qiyamah. Next ayah.
الذين كانت أعينهم وعرضنا جهنم يومئذ للكافرين عرضا. الذين كانت أعينهم في غطاء عن ذكري وكانوا لا يستطيعون سمعا.
وعرضنا جهنم يومئذ للكافرين عرضا. On the day of Al-Qiyamah, we shall present the hellfire. It will be paraded. La ilaha illallah. Okay? For the unbelievers, arda, deliverance or display for them to see. They will see Jahannam on a display. You see, it's meant for the kafirun. وَاتَّقُوا النَّارَ الَّتِي أُعِدَّتْ لِلْكَافِرِينَ. Allah said the hellfire is meant for the unbelievers. So why should you be there, you as a believer? Try to act good things. Especially these last 10 days of Ramadan, we have a lot of opportunities reading the Quran, Qiyamul Layl, feeding people, going to the hospitals, going to the prison yard, going to cemetery. A lot of things to do to fetch Allah's incalculable reward these days. So that your own account will have credit, not debiting. Don't play with the opportunity. Qiyamul Layl, because Qiyamah is coming. So on that day, Jahannam will be displayed for the unbelievers Who are they? الذين كانت أعينهم في غطاء عن ذكري وكانوا لا يستطيعون سمعا. They are those whose eyes had been within a cover, removed from my remembrance. They don't remember Allah. And they were not able to bear. They didn't hear what? وَكَانُوا لَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ سَمْعًا. But the ayats were read. But the hearing of accepting, the hearing of understanding is what they couldn't have. Okay? Next ayah.
أفحسب الذين كفروا أن يتخذوا عبادي من دوني أولياء إنا أعتدنا جهنم للكافرين نزلا.
This is ayah number 103 in this surah number 18 Al-Kahf. 102. Now, أفحسب الذين كفروا أن يتخذوا عبادي من دوني أولياء إنا أعتدنا جهنم للكافرين نزلا. Or those who disbelieve Allah, do they think they will take my servant beside me as helpers? The unbelievers are taking other gods beside Allah as helpers. Then Allah says, Inna a'tadna jahannama lil kafirina nuzula. We have prepared Jahannam for the unbelievers as a place of lodgement. They will be lodged there. Na'udhu billahi min dhalik. قل هل ننبئكم
بالأخسرين أعمالا الذين ضل سعيهم في الحياة الدنيا وهم يحسبون أنهم يحسنون صنعا.
أولئك
الذين كفروا بآيات ربهم ولقائه فحبطت أعمالهم فلا نقيم لهم يوم القيامة وزنا.
قل هل ننبئكم بالأخسرين أعمالا. Allah says, shall we inform you about the greatest losers in their deed? Do you want to know? Al-akhsarina a'mala. Do you want to know who are the greatest losers? Who are they? الذين ضل سعيهم في الحياة الدنيا وهم يحسبون أنهم يحسنون صنعا. They are those whose deeds, all their effort is in lost. They were thinking that they were doing something good. The kafir will be thinking he is spending money for sport, for sponsoring beauty contest, for example, for XYZ, thinking he's doing something. Allah says this is waste of time. Just like what Allah says in surah number 24. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَعْمَالُهُمْ كَسَرَابٍ بِقِيئًا يَحْسَبُهُ الظَّمْآنُ مَاءً. The deed of the unbelievers is like what? Sarab. What is sarab? Mirage. What is mirage? You know mirage? If the sun is burning on a third row, you will see something like water. The farther you go, the elusive it becomes. If you have your own plantation, you want to water it by marriage, the plantation will dry up. That is the example of the deed of the unbelievers. So here, the same message is being given. الَّذِينَ ضَلَّ سَعْيُهُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. They are those, all their efforts were just made fruitless, useless, ineffective in this life, thinking they were doing something good. Naam. أُولَئِكَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ. Such are those who have rejected, they have refused the ayat of their Lord. وَلِقَائِهِ, they deny even his meeting. فَحَبِطَتْ أَعْمَالُهُمْ, for that their deeds became worthless. عرفتم؟ فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا. We will not assign to them on the day of Qiyamah any recognition or any importance. They don't have any wazna. On Al-Qiyamah, they will be worthless. Nothing. They are saying, in a hadith is there, on Al-Qiyamah, somebody will come in the world, people were respecting him, Your Excellency, or even Shaykh, or whatever, because of his clothing, because of his flashy car, because of his, gigantic house, whatever. Because of his SES. What is that? Socio-economic status. But on Al-Qiyamah, he will be less than the wing of mosquito in the eyes of Allah. لا يزن عند الله بعوضة جناح بعوضة. In the eyes of Allah, he does not weigh as big as the wing of Ba'uda. Ba'uda, what is Ba'uda? Mosquito. Is worthless. To tell you, material does not necessarily claim a good person in the eyes of Allah. Even the knowledge, if you don't act it, it becomes burden on you. The wealth you accumulate, you don't spend it appropriately, it becomes a means for you to just bite your finger on a day when that is not going to avail you anything good. Na'udhu billahi min dhalik. Next ayah.
ذلك جزاؤهم جهنم بما كفروا واتخذوا آياتي ورسلي هزوا.
ذلك جزاؤهم. That will be their recompense. Their recompense shall be Jahannam. وَنَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنْ جَهَنَّمْ. بِمَا كَفَرُوا, on account of their disbelief. وَاتَّخَذُوا آيَاتِي, they treated my signs, وَرُسُلِي, and my messengers, huzwa, as ridicule. They were ridiculing the prophets and the signs and ayat of Allah the Almighty. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا,
إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كانت لهم جنات الفردوس نزلا.
الله أكبر.
خالدين فيها لا يبغون عنها حولا. قل لو كان البحر مدادا لكلمات ربي لنفد البحر قبل أن تنفد كلمات ربي.
نعم.
ولو جئنا بمثله مددا.
إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كانت لهم جنات الفردوس what? نزلا. This is ayah 107. Those who believe وعملوا الصالحات and act in a righteous manner, اللهم اجعلنا منهم, كانت لهم جنات الفردوس نزلا. The highest paradise, al-Firdaus, shall be their place of lodging permanently. Ya Allah, you do something little and Allah rewards you incalculably, amply, graciously, ceaselessly, endlessly. Because Allah huwa shakur. So they will have Jannat al-Firdausi nuzula. Temporarily, no. Khalidina fiha abada. To abide there permanently. La yabghuna anha hiwala. They will not desire from it any transfer. To where? Naam? Then Allah says, Qul, that is ayah 109. Next to the last ayah in the chapter. Correct? قُلْ لَوْ كَانَ الْبَحْرُ مِدَادًا لِكَلِمَاتِ رَبِّي لَنَفِدَ الْبَحْرُ قَبْلَ أَن تَنْفَدَ كَلِمَاتُ رَبِّي وَلَوْ جِئْنَا بِمِثْلِهِ مَدَدًا. Allahu Akbar. Now Allah is telling us that His gifts, His favors, His bounties are endless. The power to scratch your skin that is itching, and you say, oh, mashallah, is Allah's gift. How much do you pay Allah? How much? All right. But you pay your money for a recharge card. Any money for scratching your item place? You take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. Respiratory system. How much do you pay? You eat your food. Oh, so nice food. Tasty. Okay? How much do you pay? According to the biologists, in your tongue, there are taste buds. There is something that tastes sugar for you. Something tastes salt for you. Something tastes sour for you. Something tastes bitter. But the same thing, just one organ. How? Allah's gift. La ilaha illallah. If you are tired, say, oh, let me take a sleep. وَجَلْنَا نَوْمُكُمْ subata. We make your sleeping a source of break from your fatigue. When you wake up, you feel rejuvenated, energized. Allah's gift. Many things. So Allah says, قُلْ لَوْ كَانَ الْبَحَرُ مِدَادًا لِكَلِمَاتِ رَبِّي. Tell them, if the waters of the world were to be turned into an ink, if the rivers of the world, all rivers, Atlantic Ocean, name it, Mississippi River in America, Mekong in Japan, okay, River Niger in Nigeria, River Benue, all the waters, if they are to be turned into an ink, tawada, okay, قُلْ لَوْ كَانَ الْبَحْرُ مِدَادًا لِكَلِمَاتِ رَبِّي لَنَفِدَ الْبَحْرُ. And you have good writers. Yeah, Allah gave us X, write it. Trees, write it. The power of seeing, write it. The power of thinking. Allah says the waters will have been exhausted, finished, without taking into account my incalculable bounties. Do you get it? He says, وَلَوْ جِئِنَا بِمِثْلِهِ مَدَدًا. Even if more supplements were to be brought. In one ayah he says, وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَظَلُومٌ كَفَّارٌ. If you were to take into account Allah's favors, you will not be able. So we have to thank Allah for His bounties.
ولو أن ما في الأرض من شجرة أقلام والبحر يمده من بعده 7 أبحر ما نفدت كلمات الله إن الله عزيز حكيم.
This is in ayah number 31, Surah Al-Luqman. Allah says, ولو أن ما في الأرض من شجرة أقلام. If the whole trees of the world will turn into pain, and the waters are there, writers are doing, Allah's bounties wouldn't end. Just like this ayah. Because one part of Quran explains the other part. This ayah is very gigantic. You look at Allah's bounties. Let's go back again to it. But how do you thank Allah? Now, Ramadan is coming to a close. Some were alive with us last year, but now they are under the earth. They are dead. Allahu Akbar. Allahumma arhamna Rabbal Alameen. Some are alive, but they are in the hospital, just to be raised, to be put down. Some cannot even move their hand. Ya Allah. Some cannot walk from Kundila to get as an example. Some cannot eat. They are battling with the trouble in life. But you can talk. You can see. You can eat. You can smell. Won't you thank Allah the Almighty? You use your faculties of Allah's gift. Going to cinema theater. Going to the house of the prostitute. Potential HIV carriers. أنت كأنك كفرت النعمة. Disobeying your parent. You are a backbiter, a liar, a charlatan, a rumor mongerer, a peddler of rumors. Wouldn't you thank Allah the Almighty? Allah says in Quran 14:7, وَإِذْ رَبُّكُمْ
وَإِذْ تَأَذَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ لَئِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ وَلَئِن كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ.
Surah Ibrahim 14:7. وَإِذْ تَأَذَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ لَئِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ وَلَئِن كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. وَإِذْ تَأَذَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ, when your Lord made declaration that if you thank me, I will increase you incalculably, manifold. But if you prove ungrateful, my punishment is severe indeed. Let's take the last ayah in the surah.
قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ يُوحَى إِلَيَّ أَنَّمَا إِلَٰهُكُمْ إِلَٰهٌ وَاحِدٌ فَمَن كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا وَلَا يُشْرِكْ
بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا. That is the end of Surah Al-Kahfi. Oh Allah, as this surah comes to an end, when our lives come to an end, Ya Allah, make it end in the best way, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Allah says, قُل, tell them, Ya Rasulullah, إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ, I am but a human being like you. But the difference, yuha ilay. Revelation was given to me. I am a recipient of Allah's wahi. The wahi says, Annama ilahukum ilahun wahid. Your God, your Lord of worship. Because ilah means the object of worship is only one. فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ, whosoever that wants to meet his Lord in peace, here is the condition. فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا. Let him act. Let him do what is good. Period. If you want to meet Allah in peace, اعمل صالحا. Allah doesn't have any father or son or wife or grandson or grandfather or cousin or auntie, whatever. The only connection is through your deed. فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا أَنْ وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا, and should not associate in the worship with anyone. Do not bring any partner and raise him against Allah the Almighty. That is the end of this surah. أسأل الله رب العالمين أن يهبنا فهم القرآن والعمل بالقرآن. بارك الله لي ولكم في هذا الكتاب العظيم المجيد، وجعل صيامنا مقبولا، ويرحم موتانا إنه على كل شيء قدير. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أرمى